SoStocked was originally designed for mostly FBA sales. FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon versus FBM, Fulfilled by Merchant, also known as MFN, which is Merchant Fulfilled Network. So basically what this system is doing on the forecast, and by the way, before I go any further, please make sure to reference our mini course here, which is our startup guide that kind of walks you through how to set up your account, specifically how to set up your forecast, because I'm not going to go into all the forecasting here. I'm assuming you've already watched those videos, and this is more specific to those sellers who are focused on FBM sales. But Amazon, I should say, SoStocked is focused primarily on FBA. So all of your forecasts are always going to end in take FBA action with recommendations on how much inventory is at FBA, your daily velocity, etc. at FBA, and therefore how much inventory to transfer. So if you're only selling on FBM, let's say this SKU only sells on FBM. I don't sell it, I don't send it to Amazon. It's too big, the fulfillment fees are too high, whatever the reason. And I keep this inventory at my warehouse and I fulfill that myself through maybe a third-party fulfillment company or whatever. But the point is, it's sold on Amazon, but it doesn't actually go to FBA. So we're going to pull all those sales numbers here, and the velocity will be correct. But the issue is, we're not actually going to send anything to FBA. So how do you manage your forecast? Well, if this were the case, this would show up as 0 because I don't have any inventory at FBA. So the workaround is basically to trick the system, if you will, or simulate that you're going to send inventory to FBA without actually transferring anything to FBA. So all we want to do is we want to show that inventory is going to be at Amazon pretty much immediately. Let's use a different product that doesn't have inventory at FBA to show you how that would work. So in this example, I'm selling 10 units a day. This is an example, it's only an example, so I don't actually have any sales velocity, but let's simulate that I'm selling 10 units a day at Amazon, and I have 450 units in my warehouse, and I want to simulate my future daily sales that are FBM. How do I do that? Well, first of all, we have to simulate that there's FBA inventory. And what shows up in this column is really irrelevant because all we're trying to do is simulate sales so we know when to place our new orders. We're not going to do any transfers to FBA. So in order to do that, the first thing I want to do is actually change my transfer time to 1 day. And the reason I want to do that is I want to simulate this. I want to simulate that sales are being made somewhere, not today, but starting tomorrow with a 1-day transfer. Now I'm not going to transfer. We're trying to simulate this velocity wherever it's happening. We know it's FBM, but in SoStocked it's going to look like FBA. We know you don't have any inventory at FBA and you won't have inventory, but these sales are going to simulate this inventory being chewed through. And at some point, the simulation is going to assume that you're transferring inventory to FBA, but you're not. You're just chewing through this inventory, and your warehouse inventory is going to go down. And at some point, the system is going to tell me to place a new order, like here, in order to meet my order schedule, right? So I get more inventory. So I would still want to set up my order schedule with some kind of a buffer stock. And I want to order as needed, which is a very common way to do that. So I want to have at least 30 days at my warehouse here, and let's say no more than 60. So I'm placing orders about every month. Okay, good. So let's see what that would look like. Here, let me go ahead and adjust my buffer stock at FBA to 0 because I actually don't want to keep any inventory at FBA. So we don't want any inventory at FBA. We just want to show inventory being quote-unquote chewed through our warehouse. So we're doing these simulated transfers, and really all we care about is this predicted daily velocity that's chewing through. Whether it shows inventory changes in the warehouse daily or not, it doesn't matter. The point is, at the end of this cycle, I have 30 days left. That's when my new inventory comes into my warehouse, and I'm selling, 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 and then at the end of that transfer, I have 30 days left. Selling, 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 30 days left, etc. Right now, unfortunately, on this first transfer, because I have a 31-day lead time, I'm not going to end up with 30 days at the end of this cycle because I don't have enough inventory at my warehouse currently. But after that first transfer cycle, it's going to look like it would. So this is how I would simulate inventory being sold and fulfilled from my warehouse, even though it looks like it's being done at FBA. and I would ignore my transfer recommendations, and all I would do is I would place my purchase orders, excuse me, based on the simulation of this chewing through my FBM sales. Okay? So that's kind of the workaround on how to simulate a forecast where it looks like you're fulfilling inventory from Amazon, but you're actually fulfilling it here. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to update your warehouse inventory so it actually shows what you currently have, because the other part of our system is we're not able to currently, right now, we're not able to update this number daily. So as you're making sales, this is still going to show 450, 450, 450 tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. Every day this is going to update. While the forecast is correct, every day is going to update with 450 unless I manually deduct those units from my warehouse inventory. So the forecast will be good as long as I keep my inventory levels for my FBM products up to date. We'll show you that in the next video.